Alright guys, so before I start my analysis on Season 1 Episode 3 of Solo Leveling, I am going to tell you what my theory is after my initial reaction to this episode, and I am going to provide answers based off my theory. So, how do you know you have way too much free time at work? Well, when you start making anime theories. So, I did have quite a lot of time, so I wrote down this theory for Solo Leveling. So, the quest Jinwoo completed was called Courage of the Weak, which could be a sign that the gods are looking for people with specific attributes for some reason. If that is the case, then the game probably has a preference for people with standard virtues. And I've also written down, my second theory is that the link between the appearance of the portals and the hunters is no coincidence. They are both the result of the same phenomenon. Jinwoo's mom's sickness is connected to these as well. So, and then I link these two into a bigger theory and say that 10 years ago when the portals and hunters appeared, as well as Jinwoo's mom's sickness, the simulation itself started. As to why, so far it is only a guess, but my current theory is that a part of humanity is plugged into this virtual reality by other people in order to choose the people/players with the best qualities to defend humankind from an invading danger. So, yeah, that's what my theory is. To me, it seems like they are definitely trying to establish the connection between all these three events. 1, the appearance of the hunters. 2, the appearance of the portals. And 3, Jinwoo's mom's sickness. Was it eternal sleep? Eternal death? No, eternal sleep, I think it was. Regardless, what my theory is that the game is clearly looking for people with specific attributes of character. So courage being one of the virtues, being a great virtue. I think that they are trying to select just a few players to weed out the weak, the strong from the weak. So why is that the case? Well, maybe they're trying to find the best fit that would be able to defend humanity against, well, invading aliens, for example. I think that's the only explanation that I can personally come up with. But a little bit of a spoiler for The Matrix, by the way. I think that everybody, now because I am 100% convinced that everybody is living in this simulation and none of this is real, I assume that everybody's plugged into the Matrix very similarly to what it was like in the movie The Matrix. So they've got like physical wiring and cables attached to their bodies, to their heads, and they're plugged into the simulation, but they actually have real life bodies in the real world. Now, my theory also is that Jinwoo's mom's sickness is no sickness actually, but she has managed to wake up from the simulation into the real world, and she is very much alive. But her being on life support in this scenario probably means that she can switch back between being in the reality and being in the Matrix. So yeah, I'd say this is my theory. Now, let's answer some questions. Alright, so the first question is asked by Kingslink, and it reads, do you think that Jinwoo got the system because of his resolve in the double dungeon, or do you think that the higher form of intelligence you mentioned, assuming it/they exist, had all of this planned out and would choose him regardless of what happened? So, I would say that Jinwoo is definitely deserving less than chosen. It's more so deserving less than chosen. Now, why? Well, as I said in my theory a little bit earlier, the quest itself was called Courage of the Weak. So this means that he proved himself worthy to the system, to the gods of this imaginary world, to this simulation, I guess, which, as I said in the previous video, could be hackers, could be some sort of aliens, or very intelligent people. Not really sure what it is, but he proved himself worthy to them, and that's why they granted him this special power. Well, whatever it's called, the system, maybe? I don't know. Right, now for the second question. All right, and the second question is actually asked by myself. So when I saw what kind of stats Jinwoo had at his disposal during the episode, I got really curious and wondered, what would I do with my own stats if I was put in that situation? So my stats are, and I'm going to read them because I wrote them down, so they add up to 100, is strength 10, agility 20, perception 25, vitality 15, and intelligence 30. So my idea is that intelligence is the most important stat. I can't help but feel like even if you placed S rank or A rank hunters in this particular situation that Jinwoo was placed in episode 2, they would have probably still died to the gods. And the only thing that not only kept Jinwoo safe in the situation, but everybody else around him, and what made him the leader, was his intelligence and the way he analyzed the situation. So to me, intelligence is by far the most important stat. The second most important stat, to me at least, is perception, because perception and then agility. Why? Well, because when you have a good rate of perception, you can identify the danger coming in very, very quickly, and you can respond to it ASAP. And coupled with great intelligence, I feel like this definitely leads to very good quick-wittedness. Definitely gives one the opportunity to, one, establish the danger as soon as possible and react to it, not only physically but mentally as well, and come up with a good strategy. Then agility. Why do I put agility third as the third most important stat? Well, I would say that if you don't have the agility, you don't have the speed to actually dodge on an incoming attack. So it's a way to keep yourself safe, right? Then the third most important one is vitality, because we all take hits sometimes. And then the last and maybe least is strength, which I put 10 points into. But why did I do that? So I feel like if you notice the trend of my answer, it is basically keeping myself as safe as possible. Intelligence and perception, being able to identify the danger, and keeping myself as safe as possible in this dangerous situation. And then agility gives me the ability to actually react to it, so keeping myself safe. And my intelligence is my main weapon in the situation. Yes, both my weapon and my shield. Now, strength only being 10, I would say it doesn't matter if you have great strength if you're not applying it correctly. You can easily hit a giant and not cause any damage to it. Very much similarly to Attack on Titan spoilers. Very much similarly to being very, very strong and punching a Titan in the face. That does absolutely nothing. But even if you're not that strong, as strong as a regular human, and you slice through the nape of their neck, then you actually defeat them. So it's more about applying that strength. It's applying the force correctly rather than just chaotically, I would say. So that's how I put my stats. Let me know what you think. Paste it in the comments below. Now let's go to the third question. And the third question I actually got from the Let's React channel. Kenny and Montana, by the way, you guys are awesome. Once again, what happened to the dungeon? What I would say what happened to the dungeon is, because I am now convinced that Jinwoo is in a virtual reality, he simply got teleported and the dungeon deleted itself or hid itself to everyone else. Yeah, a pretty straightforward answer. Now, let's go to the next segment. All right, so now for the thematical analysis. And when I say thematical analysis, what I mean is, what is the big message here? What is the lesson that we can learn from this episode? And what I would say is, the big lesson is taking accountability and responsibility. So Jinwoo clearly made his decision to become a player, whatever that means, a little bit earlier in the series. I think it was episode 2. So now that he's made this decision, this comes with responsibilities itself. As Spider-Man, as Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibilities, and we can clearly see this being the message here in this episode as well, because Jinwoo was given the power of being a player, whatever that means again, but he was also given the responsibility of consistently training and improving himself. So I feel like this is what this episode is trying to teach us. Now, let's go to the next segment, which is episode MVP character. And I would definitely say that the episode MVP character, once again, is Jinwoo. Immediately after being punished by the system and being chased by that Slifer-looking dragon for 4 hours, he actually started taking consistent responsibility and started training despite his a little bit poor condition and being in the hospital. Also, he kind of overcame the fear, the PTSD from the earlier episode 2, maybe not completely, but he once again put himself in that situation again. He put himself in danger. Now, while I do recognize that he's not completely past his trauma yet, he's definitely doing a lot better than I would be doing. I would probably well, first, I would probably die to that dragon in the first place if I made it past episode 2. And if I didn't die to that dragon, to that Slifer creature, I don't think I would be able to have the courage to go into that dungeon. So episode MVP definitely goes to Jinwoo. Good job, my boy. Right, now for the next segment. And I think it is animation appreciation. And animation appreciation definitely goes to Jinwoo's fight between himself and these goblins. Now, there is this particular shot when he slices one of these demons open, one of these goblins open, that I find really, really cool and well animated. So I'm gonna, well, I'll already probably have posted it up here in the angle for everyone to see, but I really think that was quite cool. And it's not just that particular shot, but Solo Leveling's level of animation is next level. Do you get the pun? Well, I tried. But anyways, yeah, absolutely. If you guys are excited to see more of Solo Leveling alongside with me, you've probably already seen it, but if you want to experience it once again alongside me, then feel free to check out my reaction to the upcoming episodes. I'll be linking them. I'll be posting links to my main reaction channel in the descriptions of these videos. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.